Crimson-clad.
Oh my goodness, with me, your spooky hostess. I'm back, friends. Feels good. Sounds good. We're just here for post-up, and you can see I'm wearing a very half-assed Halloween costume, but there is a Halloween costume, and I just realized I forgot to close my studio door. So in a second, I'm going to play a track, and I'm going to turn it off, but please tell me you like my fantastic zip tie headdress. We will work on it a little bit more tonight. I'm not saying this was a little bit like last minute, but it might have been. Inspired by Maria Brink. We have a spooky Fullforce radio tonight. You guys did not think that I could miss 2 months in a row and not come back for Mega Spooktown. Look at all the friends who are here who I haven't seen in ages. Yay! So excited. I'm so excited to see all of you. Oh, I'm sorry. I've already scared away some listeners. That's poopy. That's poopy. But hey, listen, see you next Thursday. Which is pretty darn close to a rude word. But listen, my name is Crimson-clad, and many of you have not been here for a long time because I haven't been here for a long time. I have been traveling the world. I have been dealing with a bunch of tech nonsense, and oh, somebody saw the little ghost. Yeah, I added some Halloween gewgaws. Listen, I know it's not till Monday, but I'm not going to play metal for you between now and Halloween. So tonight is the night we need to do the thing. We're going to talk about, we're going to talk about some ghosty stuff. I'm going to play you some creepy music. I smashed some lipstick all over my face in the attempt to look spooky and scary and sexual for you. And that's how it's going to be. I have a lot of spooky themed tracks. We're going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to entertain you. Maybe baby. She got the neon. I've always had the neon. Do I look scary? Do I look terrifying? Show me your brains. I don't have those. I'm sorry. The zombies got me already. No brains here, friends. No brains here. So if they can't handle the spook, they don't get the pook? Question mark. I don't know what a pook is, but pluke is a big thing on this server. So, we could come up, listen, we're not have to be married to the very first tagline that we come up with. I'm going to have something about Mary Bangs here. For those of you who watch the show, listen, it's probably time we do a little recap because it's been almost 2 months. So, gentle reminder that on Thursday nights, my name is Crimson-clad, and I'm streaming to you on many different platforms. Vim TV should probably be your go-to, but there's Theta TV, there's Trovo, there's Twitch, and of course, there's the fabulous mspwaves.com, which is the station, and many of you are here in the Discord as well. So listen, watch, listen, hang out, do what you want. If you don't want to look at my scary kabuki ghost demon face, no problem. If you want to, all right, then I'm learning something about you, but no problem. So you do not have to show up. You do not have to feel bad if you didn't show up for the last 2 months because I was out gallivanting around the world, largely for work, but also for pleasure. And unfortunately, that just sucks in terms of keeping a show alive and keeping engagement alive and grabbing your friends. So we're going to try and do a Twitter twat tweet. You guys should pull your friends in. I have lots of fun stuff. We'll chit chat. We'll talk about ghosties. Tell me about all of your different, that's the one, Viking Adventure. If you can't handle the screams, then stay off the streams. I like it. You're making me sound like I'm a very good DJ. Let's make it happen. How was Iceland? It was fantastic. So I will put vacation talk or travel talk on the line tonight. If you want to talk about cool stuff that I did, if you want to ask questions, if you want me to tell you stories, all of those things I'm happy to do. If you want to talk about Hive, save that for Saturday. But I want to know, are you doing Halloween stuff? Do you have a costume picked out? Do you want to create your own demon headdress out of zip ties and a dollar store headband? Listen, we're all friends here. So that's what we're going to do. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to quickly play a track. Just something to get us in the mood, nice and quick. And I'm actually going to play the Halloween theme that I played at the opening, just to get everybody in the mood. Just so I can actually close up my studio, because unfortunately the sound changes and it's tough for everything. So let me do that. Let us get sort of situated, and then we will play some fun metal, but mostly I just want to talk with you guys. I just want to hang out with you guys. I got bats and a moon up here somewhere. If you're watching, I can't point at anything on camera. I'm really out of practice. Bats and a moon. And if you are also watching, every once in a while, you'll see my little ghost friend hanging out tonight because there's a lot of ghost talk and ghost themes in the songs. So we will do whatever you guys want to do. Some of these screen captures that Ron has they're awful. But yeah, we'll roll with it. We'll have some fun. We will play what you guys want to hear. We'll do what you guys want to do. And we'll just see where the night takes us in a very spooky fashion. Spooky. Yes, exactly. Everybody, did we pick up on the kill? No, my bat did not come back. And I think part of that is because BC, Canada, but BC in particular, crazy heat waves. And so the last couple weeks, we went from 27 degrees, which is like peak summertime in October, second week of October, third week of October, to, this weekend, we are now having something called an atmospheric river. You know how people say, oh, Vancouver rains a lot? Yeah, she fucking rains a lot, kids. And we are now down to like 1 degree at night. This is about as cold as it's going to get for the most of winter. So in a week's span, we went from the hottest that we've been ever in October to speak Fahrenheit. I refuse, sir. You and your space numbers, you are one country against the world. And it has not worked out all that well for you. So let's do that. Let's play the Halloween theme, and then we'll play some more music. We'll talk about vacations. I want to know, do you guys do Halloween? I know some of you don't. If you did, what would you want to dress up as? Let's do it. We'll talk about candy. We'll talk about ghosts. I want to hear your ghosty, spooky, occulty stories. I don't put these eyes in just for anything. I put them in to see you and hear you. So we're going to do that. If you want to hop over and watch anywhere else, then please do that. Of course, the Twitch, there's something about subs. One thing that I want to remind you guys, because Twitch apparently yelled at a bunch of you while I was gone. Ron caught the ghost friend. Twitch apparently yelled at many of you while I was gone. I will tell you, I didn't do that. Twitch just on my behalf decided to shame all of you. If you don't want to follow me on Twitch because of that, I fully understand. Twitch is a garbage platform. But I will tell you, if you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free Twitch subscription. If you've never used it, I'm here, fam. I'm here. And if you don't want to follow there, then don't. So big apologies to Clay and to everybody else who apparently got 36,000 Twitch messages. This is why you use decentralized platforms. Go to Vim TV instead. It's way better. Like, way better. All right, let's do it. We're going to start with the Halloween theme song, because of course we are. Why wouldn't we? It's fantastic. It's by a band called Orbit Culture. I've played some tracks by them for you before, but this one hits a little different here on Full Force Radio. introduction. Thank you. And I'm so glad to see you again, Viking Adventure. I know you are probably the most busy person I know, like functioning as a real adult. I don't do that. I'm a mess. But isn't the schmutz in my hair delicious? I'm sharing that with you. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, everybody who's hopping around all of the different places. I'm so stoked to see you all here. My Theta fam is back. My Twitch fam is back. Guys, I'm going to do a tweet soon. I am. It's going to happen. Uncle Bonehead showed up the second we said ruined lipstick. And you know, that's amazing. You're right. What happened to the bone throne? Kitty girl, that is an excellent point. During the next song, I will try not to give myself a hernia moving the bone throne over here. Great point. It's right here, just out of shot, because it sits in my office and it is just genuinely like a fixture of my office. It's quite funny because people walk by and they kind of look in and they're like, oh, look, oh, what is that? And I'll be like, that's the bone throne. Don't even worry about it. You know, rape, pillage, tea time. Behold, the skulls of my enemies. Friends, Full Force Radio is back, and we just started with that little orbit culture treasure, Halloween. Yes, so Gabe was asking Jamie Lee Curtis. Indeed. Can we talk about how Jamie Lee Curtis is like weirdly attractive? Are we allowed to do that? She's one of those women who seems just fun as hell, first of all. She takes can I pumpkin twerk? If you give me big enough, jiggly enough pumpkins, I would like to believe that I could, but I am still white. So it's a question mark nonetheless, for sure. Ugh. All right. So the idea is, for those of you who are watching, you can see it. But for those of you who are listening, this was my very, yes, her sexy striptease from True Lies. And Uncle Bonehead says she's still hot. Agreed, she's actually in really good shape. But Jamie Lee Curtis is one of those female protagonists who's a boss bitch, who's a badass bitch, but also, yeah, she's pretty fucking hot. She's up there. She's up there with Ripley for me, obviously. Sigourney Weaver. She's not even Sigourney Weaver. She's just Ripley. But Sigourney Weaver also pretty hot, partially because she's a boss bitch. Now, that being said, that was one of my shortlist costumes this year that never happened. But that was one. Do you guys remember in How could you not remember? Do you guys remember in Ghostbusters, are you the key master? I'm the gatekeeper. You know, you're looking for Zool and she's all like sex potted up and she's wearing like an absolute... She's wearing an absolute little like shiny thing. And I was thinking, you know how sexy and easy a costume it would be to just punch some holes in an orange garbage bag and like fluff up my hair and just run around being like, key mister. It'd be amazing. Fantastic. No one would get it. I would look like an actual piece of trash. But in my mind, it would be the best cosplay ever. So tonight, I'm not actually a thing. I'm basically like, what can I put makeup on in 14 minutes before the show that is mildly demonic and evil? And here we are. And what can I find in my garage? And the answer is some zip ties. So I'm actually going to rock this look. I mean, do you guys have any like quick costume ideas? Yes, exactly. The gifs in chat are showing up. She's literally wearing an orange garbage bag, but I feel like we could pull it off. If you are a Halloween person, we're going to entertain the people who aren't Halloween people. But if you are a Halloween person, did you ever have like a homemade costume that either you made or your parents made? I was thinking about this earlier because Halloween's always been huge in my house. Huge. Yeah, it's totally silk. The real one is silk, Eileen. But listen, we ain't bougie up in here. This is Crimson Clad. And, she was going to get a large Home Depot deluxe size orange yard bag, pop some holes in it, throw a belt around the waist, and just start in doorways. It would be amazing. Perfect costume. Absolutely. But I'm thinking about this because in my family, Halloween was a whole thing. Now, you guys know around time of last year, around the time of the original Bone Throne, we did indeed kind of throw my mom under the bus. If you've been here with me, I've been doing Full Force Radio for like 5-6 years now, and we've had a lot of Halloween shows, and Halloween shows are some of my favorite. We always talk about what we would do with terrible Halloween decor and how this time of year is a struggle for me because what I want to do is buy all of the dumb bullshit tchotchkes that show up in the stores. Does it have a skull on it? Yeah, I want to buy it. Does it look like a bat? Absolutely. Give me 10. And so maybe you follow me on Twitter, maybe you don't, and that's fine if you don't. Yes, that is not a low effort costume though, Viking Adventure. That's a legit costume. Yeah, exactly. You have at least 4 fantasy costumes at all times. And ooh, Jason's gonna do a zombie crawl. Fun. Excellent. But I bring this up because we've talked about this excessively in our days, is that, the 12-foot tall Home Depot skeleton, how I want one of those. We want to like have it poised over my front door. We've had many discussions about dumb Halloween decor and of course the bone throne. But we mentioned the bone throne came about because of my mother. Well, it's time to throw my mom under the bus again, in a good way and a bad way. I grew up with a grand love of Halloween because my parents loved Halloween. Now, I'm not saying it's because my parents love a party, but it is. And I definitely inherited that. And I actually remember the first year that I can remember my mom wearing a Halloween costume. And I will say, I'm definitely opening myself to chat becoming incredibly rude. And that is because the first year that I remember my mom having a costume where I was like cognizant of it was a lot of titties. My mom went one year as Elvira. Now, I would love to do that, but that's going to take a whole lot of tape and a whole lot of planning. So someday I'm going to go as Elvira. But I remember looking at my mom's outfit and being like, oh no, Mom, who are you? What is this? And being a little pearl clutchy as I was quite young. I didn't know who Elvira was. My kind of introduction to Elvira sadly was not through a Halloween special or TV or whatever. It was indeed through seeing my mom dressed up like a sex pot. That was an eye-opener for me, quite legitimately. So before everybody starts making your mom quotes, I will say that was one of her more fabulous homemade costumes. So when you think about it, you just get a black dress, you knock the center out of it. Everybody's looking at your tits anyways. Nobody gives a shit about anything else. Elvira, boom. Fine. Okay. Pearl clutching. Yes, indeed. You clutch your pearls. But so, yes, exactly. My mom wearing the classic deep V dress. And that was my introduction to Elvira. And I'm not going to say that put the love of spooky in me. But certainly Elvira was like, oh, she's this creepy ginger broad that dresses up as the Queen of Darkness and has an army of skeletons and a cool ass convertible with a, Elvira's my jam. But I'm going to share with you guys, when I said I was going to throw my mom under the bus, it wasn't only about this costume. It was because I was getting on track to talk to you guys a little bit about homemade costumes and things you couldn't do anymore. Speaking of last minute homemade accessories, my mom one year went as, I think she's still wet dreams for a lot of people, Uncle Bonehead. Elvira, not my mom. Oh, God. Ooh, this is the worst. Quick. My mom one year went in a very, very inappropriate costume. More so than Elvira. And in a way, you know how we say you can get canceled now? And you probably shouldn't be canceled, or, we don't love cancel culture. There's a lot of nuance to this. But before we get into it, bus. Listen, my mom, very, very inappropriate costume one year. My mom went as a terrorist. Now, this was when I was very young. This was maybe the year after Elvira. I don't know if she was making up for being super sexy, but she went as a terrorist one year. And I remember this because I remember how creative her costume was. She had, oh God, okay, Mom, everybody watching, I'm sorry. We're just talking about ingenuity and homemade costumes. I'll bring up an embarrassing one of my own after. My mom had a tea towel on her head with masking tape around it. She used mascara to give herself a stubbly ass beard and a unibrow. She was wearing my dad's brown, because, you know, it was the 80s, 90s, my dad's brown terry cloth bathrobe with no belt. And she had spray painted, oh my God, she had spray painted toilet paper or like paper towel rolls red and had just duct taped all of these red paper towel rolls around her body. Yep. My mom cross-dressed as an Arab terrorist using a tea towel and some paper towel rolls. And I was thinking about this in terms of like, what could you look around your house and make a quick, excellent costume that everybody knows what it is? Listen, this was very, very, very pre 9/11, Clay. I was very young and I thought it was hilarious. I was young enough that I was still like, I thought it was the funniest thing because she was a boy. I didn't even get the costume. I just thought it was hilarious that she was dressed up as a boy. And looking back now, I was like, oh, things you can't do anymore. I'm sorry. It's offensive. But at the time I thought, wow, Mom, that's amazing. So I'm curious to know, did you ever have any last minute thrown together bullshit Halloween costumes that you or your parents made with love, with fun, with good intentions? I'm very curious. I will tell you about mine, which I thought was the coolest, and then I got horrifically teased for it, and I still went with it, but it was horrific, to be quite honest. And I'll share that with you guys after the break. I'm not going to say that maybe I'm a garbage human who belongs in garbage cans and garbage bags, but you know what? That's what it's starting to sound like, isn't it? Okay. So I have lots of fun stuff tonight, and there's no way we're going to play all this, but I have some sexy Halloween music. I have some spooky Halloween music. There's a lot of witches and ghosts. So tonight's a little occulty for sure. And we'll kind of just get through what we'll get through. We'll do some summoning. We haven't summoned a demon on Full Force Radio in a while. Hey, John! I'm seeing lots of people hopping in. If I haven't said hi to you, it's not because I don't see you. It's not because I don't love you. It's because for once, it's happening. It's going. Everything's good. Shit is tight. Like, I'm excited to have you guys here. I'm so excited. You want me to wear these more often? I agree. I will say they terrify people. So Uncle Bonehead, if you're just listening to the sound of my voice and not actually seeing what's going on, Uncle Bonehead is talking about my sclera contacts. They take up let's just do that quickly. They take up the whole of the white of my eyes. And I will say they are not the most comfortable thing to wear, but I adore them. And they scare the piss out of people. I used to do a lot of really like costume grade gore makeup. Speaking of Jason's zombie walk, have you ever done a zombie walk? I used to do those in Vancouver all the time. You know, ripped open face, ripped open neck, blood everywhere. I love that kind of thing. But I will say, nothing scares people like looking completely normal and wearing these contact lenses with your eyes blacked out. People lose their shit. They think you're possessed. They assume that maybe, do you guys remember the X-Files? Some like alien goo climbed into your body. They're just assuming that you're probably a bad, hey, Master Config. You sound like a tech friend. What a cool name. Sup? So we'll play a little music and we'll talk more about ridiculous Halloween costumes. And I will tell you a little bit about probably my very worst homemade costume that I did get teased horrifically for. And you know what? It's not even because we were like poor or anything. We were middle class growing up. God, there's something in my hair and I'm trying to get it out on camera. What's happening? But, you know, it was a bad costume. And looking back now, it was bad. But I was obsessed and I thought it was a great idea. And that's And that's what it is. Okay, so Uncle Bonehead one time, hey, Nahu! Uncle Bonehead one time dressed up as a zombie while working at McDonald's and you got written up? Were you not? Are you guys allowed to dress up at your job? Do you care? Dress up. I think it's fun. If you have good costumes, show them to me. You stuck a chicken nugget on your neck so it looked like your Adam's apple was sticking out of your neck. So not only did you go as a zombie, you made yourself a zombie out of like weird, gross McDonald's meat. That's actually almost more terrifying, isn't it? Yeah, that's pretty spooky. Good job, Bonehead. Okay, so, it would be not Halloween if we didn't play Ghost. Everybody's obsessed with Ghost now. I just saw an article in a paper saying that Ghost is now the rock band that has become this generation's Kiss. And it's hard to disagree with that. It's a little spooky. It pushes some boundaries. It pushes some buttons. We talk about them all the time. But the reality is if you're having a ghosty, spooky, occulty show, how can you not have a band called Ghost on the playlist? But I'm actually going to play something off one of my favorite to Ghost album, 𝖊𝖕𝖎𝖆. Nice. Yeah, and Nahu, actually, you could tell us some ghost stories tonight. Everybody can tell. If you've got ghost stories, we're going to talk about them a little bit later on. I think I've told you some of mine, but I'm willing to talk about them again. I want to hear yours. I know that Nahu has had some spooky communications. And I think probably others of you have too. So you could share it in chat and we'll talk about it. But I'm going to play a song for you off 𝖊𝖕𝖎𝖆. It's my favorite Ghost album. But I actually want to play probably like one of the hardest Ghost tracks. And it is still appropriate. I want to play you a song called Mummy Dust. Which is kind of what I imagine a dead person's fart is. But we're adults here on Fullforce Radio, and we talk about cool, important stuff, and definitely not dusty mummy farts. So, you take this song and you imbue it with meaning that isn't a puff of, smoke coming out of a dead man's bum. That's all I'm saying. Just, this is your show. This is your time. This is your Fullforce Radio. Yes. Oh my goodness. Amazing. Amazing. I love it. I forgot to tweet. Sorry. I was out there looking and I was trying to find some of the things that I've done in the past in terms of spooky, gory, zombie stuff. Ron fucked everything up. But this is one time for the zombie walk. This is an old photo as I was goring and bloodening up my face. But hey, listen, friends. Hey, it's Full Force Radio. We've been talking about silly things like bad Halloween costumes interpreted on the fly. And Kitty Girl actually was sharing some art from a guy. He has this little dancing skeleton fairy gif, and honestly, it's basically me. But there was a time way back when for Halloween that somebody drew me as the Ginger of Death, and I'm trying to see if I can find it on the server. We'll try, but I can't, so I'll have to go looking for it because it's one of the best things that was ever created, I have to say. Oh, Viking Adventure went and found all his old photos. They're amazing. Now, Viking Adventure, I could tell you are a man who likes a good cape, and I'm not gonna lie. Can we normalize cape wearing? Would people be cool with that if we just brought everyday capes back? Because that, I feel like, would be a place that I would really fit in. And I'm not talking about like wearing capes to other places. I mean, just like all the time. Just extra capey all the time. But like utility cape, maybe pockets, women's capes, women's everything doesn't have pockets. We need pockets in the cape. But I mean, I would like to like punctuate a statement or a flounce out of the room by throwing my cape over my shoulder and like, you know, I would like to be exceptionally dramatic avec cape. And I just feel like it would really up my game if I could just cape all the time and not just Halloween. Clay's like normalized dressing like Elizabethan English royalty. Agree. So I will say, I will apologize for those of you who are watching this, whether you're watching later on the replay or right now on the live stream. I took this camera, my streaming camera, with me on my trip to Iceland because I needed something in my pocket while I was, you know, oot and a boot de hoose. And I realized that when I put it back, you can see it's not focusing. That's actually because I'm an idiot and I messed up all the settings for streaming. So I just smashed it back together. So next week, things will be a little bit better in focus. Everything will look a little better. Tonight, we don't look as good as we could look. But that's because I'm a dum-dum and I ruined my streaming setup. And I will fix it, darlings. But tonight is not that night. So right before, you know what? You're just a spooky guy. You've got some cool custom shirts. You got, a Carcass shirt. Mwah. A++. Well done, sir. Can't wait. Going to see Carcass later this year. But you generally have like a spooky look. You and me, as metal fans, we have sort of just like a gentle spook to us at all times. Just a soupçon of spook. Yeah, and actually, I gotta actually connect with Mr. D. I'm gonna be in Montreal for literally one night only, to go see a bunch of these metal bands, including Carcass. I'm very excited. But listen, before the break, I was telling you guys, I had a super lame costume. And we were talking about my mom making up her costumes and how one year she went as Elvira, and I was like, whoa, mom's boobs. And then another year, my poor mother, cripes, and they do upon occasion watch replays. I kind of just always hope she never sees the replays where I talk like about something about her that she probably wouldn't want people to know, because whoopsies, the entire internet knows. But so there was a year that I had a costume that I thought was baller. Everything was baller. And my parents did the best they could to help me out. When I was a little kid, I was obsessed with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I had a lot of obsessions. You guys will kind of come back around to that. And talk about her boobs. Uncle Bonehead, no! Ew. But listen, so I had a lot of obsessions, and one of them was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I loved the Ninja Turtles, and because I was a big fucking nerd, I had a favorite turtle, and you guys can probably guess who my favorite turtle was. It was Donatello. I wanted to hit people with a stick. That's really what it came down to. I liked the slightly more intelligent turtle, and I wanted to hit people with a stick. That's where that came in. So, you know, like all little girls did back as a kid, I still have all my toys. Like all little girls did, I wanted to be Donatello. Yeah, and I've actually thought about doing an April cosplay at some point, but that's not who I ended up being, to be quite honest. I wanted to be Donatello. And so I told my parents, I want to be Donatello, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, for Halloween. Now, if you're 5-year-old or however old I was, I know I was quite young because I was still in swimming lessons and I was still in quite like early swimming lessons. Your child comes to you and says, I want to be a Ninja Turtle and I want this costume. I want to wear it to school and I also want to wear it to swimming lessons. Make me a turtle, make me a costume that could go in the water. If you don't make me a turtle, I'm going to freak out. I have to say, looking back now, talking here, between you and me and the wall, just here in this secret private place, my God, my parents were fucking saints. And once again, my mom came through. And I mentioned to you guys earlier that I was, I still am trash. You guys, you may have noticed, often in my photos, you'll see a trash can. It's because I'm a trash human. Trash cans are often around me because that's where I belong. There are levels to swimming lessons. Yes, there are. I actually went through swimming lessons right up to the Red Cross level, which is where you actually take lifeguard training. But they start up, I think they start with numbers and then colors in Canada anyways. I don't know about you guys, but they go, you know, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and then you go into like the crosses something. No? Is this a Canada thing? What do they do down there in the States? Clay, do they just throw you in the swamp with the turtles and they're like, if a gator doesn't eat you, you can swim. High five. Go team. Oh, and also that might have been a little bit racist. Oh no. Yikes. Okay. Well, Finding Adventure is like consistently renoing all the time. There you go. Nahu, you see, we get each other, you and I. You're a little Iron Maiden and you're Donatello in front of Iron Maiden. But so I wanted to be Iron Maiden. I wanted to be Iron Maiden. Yes, I did. I've thought about doing an Eddie cosplay as well. But no, I wanted to be Donatello. Bless my mom's soul. She came up with an idea. And once again, it's because it's just me. I just gravitate towards being trash. And that is, she got a green garbage bag and she covered my entire body in green garbage bags because, of course, I wanted to wear it to swimming lessons. So green garbage bag, green garbage bags. But this time the tape was colored tape, purple, you know, the armbands, the leg bands, and then, a big piece of yellow, masking tape. And then just a stick. Because obviously, just a stick. And I had, because again, I was a child, I had a helmet for my bike that was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles helmet. And so I was wearing a little sort of skull cap, neon highlighter green helmet with eyeballs on it. I was wearing nothing but garbage bags held on with tape, carrying a stick and a garbage can lid. And I thought I was the ever-living shit. To this day, I still think it was a baller costume. Oh my lord, did I get destroyed by my peers. No one thought it was cool. No one thought I looked good. And to be fair, looking back with a more discerning and practiced eye, as someone who is a creative, it was a little jank. I'm willing to say it was a little bit jank. Uncle Bonehead's daughter was the Hulk in 2nd grade. Amazing. You see, young girls wearing neon green. Did you put her in a garbage bag? Did you just stuff your kid in a garbage bag? Things we need to know. Let's just see if we can find this. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle bike helmet. Because I'm telling you, this was the cornerstone, the pièce de résistance of my costume. And I found it. Oh my gosh, I found it. Because the new ones, they have this. This is still a thing. In fact, I'm looking at all the new ones and they're killer. I would have killed for these. Do you want to see the helmet that I had when I was a little kid? Yeah. Okay, let's just quickly pull this up on the overlay, friends. Because this is something else. Let's take a quick peek here. Let's see if we can make this properly. Hey, Justin! Let's see if we can pull this up. Browser and images. Yeah, okay, there you go. So here you go. Let's pull this up because nowadays you can have super amazing helmets. Look at this helmet. Look at this helmet. No, as a child, I had this helmet. Can I open this in a new tab? Let's do this. This was the helmet that I was wearing while also wearing nothing but garbage bags. Wearing garbage bags covered in tape, wearing this helmet, carrying a small stick, because you can't have a big stick at swimming lessons, carrying a small stick out of the forest and a garbage can, a plastic actual garbage can lid as a shield. Do you guys still think I'm cool? Crepes, this could basically be my helmet. I hope it's not. It kind of actually looks like my parents' place. Holy crap, I hope that's not my old helmet. Oh, see? You love the Mega Spook Edition getup. Thank you. I love it too. I'm not going to lie. So this is how we got on this topic, darlings. We're talking about how it's Halloween. I came back. I haven't done a show in 2 months. I had to get you guys. I had to race home. And I realized this is it. This is my shot. One show before Halloween. Halloween's on Monday. I got to do something real quick. Throw in the eyeballs. Put on a lipstick. Smash a lipstick all over my face. Now we're kind of like Japanese murder demon. So I need a hat. So I found a dollar store headband and I am covering it in zip ties. So here's the deal. Before Monday, because I want to scare the children at my door, and I'm definitely going to do this again, I'm going to get the rest of the zip ties over the course of tonight's show. And I actually bought on my way home today, because I definitely didn't stop to get some candy for myself. I definitely didn't buy some gross... Hi, little Max! I definitely didn't buy some gross little, like, brown, nasty faux bones. But I did. And I'm gonna... Vaquero's here! So many people are hanging out! Yes! This is cool. I'm gonna play you guys some cool music. And so I was thinking of just having a secondary row of gross children's fingers and maybe, like, some spiders and shit. I'm gonna clip these so they're all different heights. I was just thinking, let's go with it. Let's 1000% up the... Hi, Donna Garden. Wow. So we were chatting earlier, and Donna Garden is one of the cool fam who is rocking with Woo. You know, it's funny. World Wrestling Organization Online. It's a new game on Hive, and it's something that I'm probably going to talk about on a Cyberbuzz one of these days. But that is a costume that I have been trying to do for ages because I also was obsessed with wrestling growing up. Man, we got so many things to talk about tonight. They said that Charlotte had it all, style, looks, and brains, and now I've got the man with everything, including her remains. Fun. So why don't we play some music? I will continue to up my zip tie game. We will come back. We'll talk a little bit more. I want to know about what you guys are wearing for your Halloween costume. If you have any jank thrown together costumes, Marco has shared. Oh no, are those a bunch of SS costumes? Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, dictators in general, you gotta be real careful. then that's a very, I don't know if that pirate is looking at me sexually or if he's been into the grog too much. I'm not 1,000% sure. I have some very questionable pirate photos myself, and I've shared them here with you guys, including one time where I had a hook hand, but it was a dollar store plastic hook hand, and I didn't know how to drink. So I masking taped a cup to the hook, and then I drank the rest of the night out of a taped hook hand because I'm a cool pirate guy. So we're going to summon some demons. We're going to play some heavy metal. We've already played some Ghost. I have lots of stuff tonight. I'm not joking, you guys. I have everything from King Diamond, Rob Zombie, Death Angel, Blind Guardian, Iron Maiden, Witchfinder, Green Lung, 3 Inches of Blood, Candlemass, Edge of Sanity, Camelot, Ozzy, Kardashev, Insomnium. If it sounds like I have a lot of music, I do. I'm going to run out of time. We're not going to get to play all the music. Tough fucking titties. So one of the things that I do want to share with you guys, because it's Halloween, we're spooky. We've already talked about my mom's tits. Yuck. We already talked about canceling her because she was a terrorist one year before that was definitely a punishable offense. So I'm going to play some Dethklok for you guys. I love Dethklok. We haven't played it in a long time, and that's sad. So if we're gonna summon some demons, we may as well just go the whole fucking way. We may as well actually summon the darkest eldritch demon slumbering in the depths. Let's just go full crake in here. I'm gonna play a track called Awaken. It's Fullforce Radio, Mega Spook Addiction? Jesus. It has been, we're dad joking in chat. Justin asks, what's a I'm going to laugh if it's not the answer that I think it is. What's a pirate favorite letter of the alphabet? Is it R? I can't even R. How do you R? I'm going to laugh if it's not R. If you've got a good pun that flips that on its head and potentially makes it dirty, that would be amazing. I would send you some hive. But we're going to summon some demons. We're going to summon that particular demon. and we'll go. It could be the sea. Damn it. You see? You sound like a growling chihuahua. Yeah. Listen. You know what? I've been away for 2 months. I literally can't speak. My shows are a mess. I'm a mess. You guys came here. You brought this on yourself. If one of you gets eaten by some kind of weird astral spectral projection tonight, that's on you. But it'll be a good time. So hang around. We'll have some fun. We'll play Awaken. Everybody will be brutal in the chat. And when we come back, we'll talk some more about like janky Halloween costumes and ghost stories and things like that. Because that's what we're going to do. And in the background, while you guys are hopefully not being carried off, hi Gecko, hopefully not being carried off by some sort of apparition, not my fault, I am going to try and struggle the bone throne into the background because Kitty Girl is right. How could I not have the bone throne front and center tonight? Important things, important night, important Fullforce Radio. You know, let's get wrecked.
The time has come to awaken him. I call upon the ancient lords of the underworld to bring forth this beast and awaken. Take the land that must be taken. Awaken. Devour world might.
you go, darlings. Because you wanted it, because you needed it, because Bone Throne. Although I will say it covers up Crimson. See, this is the only problem with the Bone Throne at current is that it takes up a lot of space. So I will say I do often have that bad boy kicking around in meetings. So sometimes I actually do sit in the Bone Throne while I am having meetings. And it is delightful. I'm not going to lie. There is something quite flexy about sitting in a literal fucking throne. First of all, like, honestly, you know that you've got some big dick energy when you roll up into the Zoom meeting and sit in your own throne. But also when the throne is quite literally made of bones. Now, if you guys haven't heard the Bone Throne story, I'm not going to tell it again. But the long and the short of it is, I adore my mother. You can't necessarily tell because I often tell really terrible stories about her. But she knows me pretty fucking well. And, often in the 5 Halloween shows that we've had. Yeah, okay, you're right. Sorry, not big dick energy. It's big titty energy. Big titty energy. Just rock up and have your own big titty energy. Thank you for the correction. I do stand corrected. I could even sit corrected, if you will. But so my mom knows that I have an aesthetic. I'm kind of a spooky bitch. There are skulls in every room of my house. I definitely enjoy I am a metal enjoyer. And overall, this is kind of my jam. This is my look. So my mom knows when she sees stuff that's kind of like Halloween spooky that, oh, Krim will probably love that. And she's always right. And she saw this bad boy on Markdown one Halloween. And she kept saying the words Bone Throne, first of all. And I don't want to, I think this year the ship has already sailed since we've talked about my mom being Elvira. And we've literally already talked about my mom's cleavage at length. I keep seeing something in my hair and it's driving me insane. We're going to do this. Huh. But so I'm not going to get back into it. But my mom called me up and she kept saying the words Bone Throne and I was very uncomfortable. But at the same time, I was like, I don't know what to do with a Bone Throne. Thank you, though. That bitch went out and bought it and hid it in her basement until Christmas. She hid it for months in her basement. And Christmas morning, we're all there. We're looking all cute. We're wearing our gym jams. My little nephews are coming down the stairs, twinkle in their eyes and their little, blushed cheeks. And everybody's Christmas presents and whatever. And my mom gives me the Bone Throne. It's pretty cool. So yes, it is. It's delightful. How could I possibly feel bad about it? But it is. It's the good fit. It's a good fit for my aesthetic and for Halloween in general. So yes, I'm going to add some tiny little fingers to this ensemble. I was thinking maybe some realistic eyeballs. If you could think of cool things to add to my hat, because I'm going to cut this into different shapes. I'm probably going to add some chains and shit, maybe some horns. I've got some like dried flowers and these creepy like aged finger bones. I'm going to kind of build up a big whole crown here. Maybe some sort of like animal skull would be cool. But if you want to see some other stuff added to my googly eyes, no, sir. No, googly eyes are not on brand for this particular look. But I do agree googly eyes make everything better. You are not incorrect. Some crystals. Yes, absolutely. We're going full like bog witch here. Yep, absolutely. Now, the only thing I will say about these is if something gets caught under one of your contacts, oh, you're in for a world of pain, friends. It's like searing gas pain land, except slicey eyeball land. Okay, so we talked about a bunch of stuff. We're already like an hour into the show. How did it happen? We didn't play any music. Are you guys used to that? You should be. Welcome back. Welcome back, Crimson Clad. You suck at doing shows. But so... Clay, there's some bog witches out here in the swamp on the crystals. Meth. Yes, look at these women with their freaky ass cosplay makeup. She looks like a biblically correct angel, right? We've talked about this before. Like, biblically correct angels are just all eyeballs, right? Terrifying eyeball monsters. All of them. Interlocking circles covered in eyeballs. I don't know, man. But... there are definitely some costumes that I've wanted to do for a long time. And since we have the wrestling fam here, one of them that I've always wanted to do, and that actually has never come to pass, is I wanted to go as Macho Man Randy Savage. And part of the reason that it hasn't happened is because everyone in my group fought over who got to be Macho Man Randy Savage. I suggested one year, I said I was going to do it, and they were like, oh, we're going to do it too. And I was like, well, we can't all go as the same. We can't all be the Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour. Nope, there's only one, and it's me. And we had a lot of fighting about it, and nobody would give up the costume, and therefore nobody has ever been Macho Man Randy Savage, because my friend group will literally actually have to get in the ring to fucking duke it out. Like, yeah. I did not say Macho Man Randy Sandwich, but that would be amazing. And I don't know how you would change the costume, but if you could smash those two things together and like have him, except maybe instead of Slim Jims, you had like Subway sandwiches instead. I don't know, but amazing. So that is one I want to do, and also Ultimate Warrior. Mostly because I want the little bingo wing fringe. I want the rainbow fucking fringe is what I want. I want to be the Ultimate Warrior, but I don't know that anybody would get it. Are we allowed to gender bend costumes? Or is this like, have we gone too far? Because before it used to be cool when you would gender bend costumes. That was cool. And now it's kind of gone almost too far the other way. So I don't know. Do you guys think could I get away with it? Wouldn't scare children. I want to scare children. So yeah, maybe we'll just go with more things, more things that we can add to my headdress. The only Canadian that you love besides Krim. Yes. I mean, listen. Oh, there are so many fantastic. The Canadian Crippler. You got your Scott. Oh, man. Yeah. We're gonna turn Halloween into a wrestling extravaganza, and I'm okay with that. We will probably, like I said, have an actual stream about this, because okay, listen, we'll just throw this out there because obviously you guys are as big nerds as I am. On Monday, if you are interested in cool games built on the blockchain, if you like wrestling, if you like this kind of shit, on Monday, October 31st, you will find, woo! You will find the Woo General pre-sale. There'll be packs of cards, and that's going to be really fucking cool. I will drop that in chat for those of you who are interested in getting into blockchain gaming, who like wrestling, who want to check out a cool project that I am kind of like fallen in love with. I didn't even know it was a thing until I went to Splinterfest and I got talking to some of the team. Bookerman's a cool dude. I said Bookerman, not Boogerman. Let me share it with you guys, and then that'll be my unpaid shill of the day. So, while we are doing this, I do want to play you guys some heavy metal. Believe it or not, this is a heavy metal show. It's not just Crim's Mom's Boobs, something skeleton, zip tie your head, and terrified children. Although, to be fair, all of those things kind of do just fall under the purveying of Full Force Radio. If you've never been here before, because I can see on all of the different streaming platforms, there are a bunch of you. If you've never been here before, I cordially invite you to come every Thursday night at this time. If you're watching on a replay, it's not then. But Thursday night, Friday morning, wherever you may be, you can go to fullforce.rocks. You can go to mspwaves.com, or you can rock up and follow wherever you're watching or listening now. Just do the thing, hit the button, ring the bell, smash the, I don't fucking know. I hate this shit. I hate doing this shit. But the reality is come back, because I really like heavy metal, and I really want to put more heavy metal in your ears. And it's been months since I've been able to do that, because I've been traveling around the world, and I'm not complaining. I recognize that's privilege. Okay, don't come for me. But I haven't been able to do the show, and that's sad. I need to catch up. We need to play some more music. Canada has amazing tech death bands. Absolutely. Archspire is amazing. One of my favorite tech death bands, but there are many Archspires from here in Vancouver. But we're not going to do that right now. We're not going to do any tech death. We are going to play We're going to play some Judas Priest because I'm trying to decide on what to play as we go and what kind of fits in the theme. And I'm going to try and shape the playlist to be enjoyable. But yes, Beyond Creation, Archspire, so much good tech death in Vancouver. So much good music in Vancouver in general. Last night was Animals as Leaders, actually. Great show. So I'm going to play you guys some Judas Priest because I did promise Clay that I would also play some weird, sexy Halloween songs. And I am indeed going to do that. I'm going to play you a track off of Painkiller, which is, Screaming for Vengeance, Painkiller, really good Priest albums. Like, really good Priest albums. But I'm going to play you a track called A Touch of Evil because I'm not going to lie, there's a couple of different tracks about succubi tonight. I'm not 100% sure what it is that I am other than spooky, but if I was going to suck your life force out of you, I'd probably look like this while I did it. Why not? Sure. It's just succubuses, succubi, succubunks, whatever it is. It's Fullforce Radio. We're going to play a bunch of metal and we'll just see because I've got 2 hours left of music and 2 hours left of show. I would have to playlist one end to the other and not say one more word to fit it all in. It ain't gonna happen, fam. It ain't gonna happen. Oh, there you go. Priest. Some classic Priest. Friends, hi, welcome. So my name is Crimson Cloud if you're just joining, and I see a bunch of you just joining, and I actually see that Ross is listening in chat. Ross, I don't know you. I've never seen you before, but you wandered on in. Hopefully I don't scare you away. Welcome to everybody who's hanging out, first-time chatters, people just kicking it wherever you may be watching, from Twitch to Theta to Trovo to the very own Hive blockchain 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆, which I highly recommend you use, to be quite honest, because Twitch will apparently... Oh, there goes the angry ghost. I got a little ghost friend that just hangs out. Twitch... kind of trash, and legacy media in general trash. Legacy social media kind of trash. Don't like it. Many of you guys may know me as a big advocate of the Hive blockchain, and on Saturdays I do synthwave and I talk tech and we talk about the retro future, and often we answer questions about the Hive blockchain and whatnot. Although as time goes on, we've been just kind of branching more out into overall blockchain and tech topics, because it turns out if you talk about something for 5 years, all of your listeners get super knowledgeable and eventually they don't need you anymore. And that's how you know you did your job. But it has kind of slowed down cyberbuzz, but I got lots of things to talk about. Uncle Bonehead says, I seem like I've lost weight. Well, part of that is when you hide your fat baby chipmunk cheeks with big piles of hair and you contour your face like a drag queen on crack, it helps slenderize you a little bit. No way. So Donna Garden's saying, I've seen you on Theta before you even signed up on Hive. Hell no. Bro, that's killer. That's fucking boss. Someday we're gonna all be sitting around talking about how fucking woo was exploded. Woo! So Clay's asking if our blockchain has an infinite money loop. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, we're probably gonna have to talk about that a little bit. I am. What can I say? You say I'm less thick than I was in NOLA? Oh, that's sad. Am I really that much less thick? I feel all my clothes fit the same. I am just the size I am. And, it's just like when you ask how old I am, how much I weigh. It doesn't matter. I am Cthulhu. I just slumber in the depths. I'm old enough and wise enough and large enough to know better. But regardless, that's not why we're here. We've been talking about for the first half of the show, because we're almost halfway through. For the first half of the show, we were talking about Halloween costumes. We were talking about how janky homemade zip tie headdresses and spooky things, and how literally most of my childhood Halloween costumes were made out of garbage bags. Bye! And I had mentioned, did you guys ever have any cool / really terrible homemade Halloween costumes? And everything that everybody showed me was cool. You all had cool costumes. None of you were dressed by your parents and sent out of the house in a literal garbage bag like the trash that you are. So Good job. Congrats. Oh, Lordy. You can't think of something to say witty about me. Well, you don't have to. You don't have to. Not everything you don't have to dunk on me all the time. You can. I get it. It's enjoyable. If you're here in chat and you want to just have a little dunk, have at her. I'm here for your personal entertainment as much as in a digital medium can provide. But I've got lots more music. I want to play you guys some heavy metal. I want to hang out with you and I want to talk some more shit. Candy Girl shared a link in chat, and actually Done Stuff shared this as well. An owl stole a hobby horse and then was literally flying around with it, looking like a little witch. It's amazing. Amazing. All right. As a tall boy, you must and will always dunk on me. That is true. You literally can look directly down on the top of my head. You are quite tall, sir. Quite tall. Your entire life was a terrible homemade Halloween costume. Trash bags make for good raincoats, okay? Okay. I mean, there was, if we're going to talk about wrestling, there was this period. See, there was obviously, there's been a lot of older wrestlers, classic wrestling. There's the new generation of wrestling now. But I will say, the absolute sort of sweet spot for me, you guys know, was very much sort of the rise of Undertaker and, yes, obviously Chris Benoit, the Canadian crippler. And, you know, there's this whole thing. I still remember, you know, Hogan before his heel days. And yes, the NWO was kind of like right in the middle. If you were a wrestling fan, and I swear we won't only talk about wrestling tonight, but if you were a wrestling fan, you might remember this arc where everybody started joining like the NWO and D-Generation X, and it was just like this whole like, everybody's a bad guy now. Ah! And the indicator that they were bad was they all just started wearing black, like pleather. Everything was shiny. Everything was like made of garbage bags. It was just a whole era of wrestling where everybody had like Scott Hall's fucking terrible, greasy, slicked back hair and like a pleather garbage bag jacket. It was a thing. It was a time. It was an era. Mr. D with the next level Halloween tricks. Holy shit. Here you go. Mr. D said all they would do is wear masks, and when you got to the end of the block, everybody would change them out and then go back and hit the house again for good treats. Hell yes. Hell yes. So if you're not a trick-or-treater, or you didn't trick-or-treat growing up, that sucks. I'm sorry. I mean, it's a thing that, you know, you can't do as much anymore because everybody's like, oh, the children, think of the children. You can't send them out into the night to literally ask for candy from strangers. Of course you can. Everybody's talking about drugs in fucking Halloween candy. Have you tried to provide yourself with drugs recently? I mean, in general, drugs are expensive. First things first. And the cost of living is going up. God damn it. I'm not giving my drugs to children. There's no way. Children would not appreciate drugs. That's bullshit. That's drugs to children. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Darnagard said they had a killer street too. So I will say, I did grow up in a fairly upper crust neighborhood, if you want to put it that way. Like I did. I grew up in a housing subdivision. You know, it wasn't an apartment building or anything. It was a big thing of houses. So generally growing up, everybody had a crazy decorated yard. Everybody gave out giant fuck off chocolate bars. Like to this day, I still give out full size chocolate bars because I don't want kids to miss out on that experience. None of this bullshit of these mini fun size things now that are getting smaller and smaller. Absolutely not. No, the children, I care not for children, but the children do deserve better. But growing up, we got pretty damn good candy. And for us, the trick was, you know, at the time there were those McDonald's pails. Do you guys remember those? The little shitty plastic ghost and like pumpkin, the boo pails. And you would always take that and it would be full in like 14 seconds. So you would actually have a pillowcase with you. So you would take the pillowcase to the end of the house, you would dump your bucket into it, and you would leave like 1 or 2 items, and then you would go up to the door with your sad, pathetic, tiny bucket that was almost empty, and everybody would be like, oh, look at you didn't get any candy, poor kid. And meanwhile, you'd be like, ha 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 ha, and you'd have a couple of fuck off gigantic bags just waiting behind their hedge. No? There's a reason I'm as thick as I am. I was a fat kid for sure. Oh, Lord. So tell me about that. Tell me, do people decorate where you're from? Because one of the things that we talk about on this show a lot with heavy metal is heavy metal art and album covers. And we talked about slam-induced priapism one night. I'm still trying to figure out how to say priapism, whatever. We've been talking about how like Cannibal Corpse and Carcass and, Inferi and Napalm Death and Municipal Waste and all these fucking bands that have amazing, gory, crazy artwork. It's very Halloween. It's very metal, right? That's always been a thing. Very like ghostly, ghouly, Satan, like bullshit covers. But I don't know if you guys have seen this. That the more like what's happening now is people are starting to really get into it. And I saw one earlier and I'm going to play a song here and then I'm going to try. Oh, Eileen. Woo, come on, Eileen. Oh, I swear that he means. Where's your dad gone? Here on Halloween. I'm sorry. That's mean. I'm sorry. But I've seen where people are starting to take it too far, where we've gone from like, boo, spooky things that drop out of a tree and scare you, or like somebody's dad dressed up as Freddy Krueger leaping out of a bush and giving a child a heart attack. Like we've moved on from that, and now houses are actually quite legitimately like, they look like crime scenes, and it's starting to get bad where people are actually calling the police because they genuinely think there is a dead body in someone's front yard. So I don't know where you are. I know there's some of you that don't celebrate Halloween, but have you seen any houses with like killer good decorations or like actually concerning, genuinely harmful decorations? I'm curious to know, because times have changed. When we were kids, it was a little more innocent. It was. I actually legitimately did have a friend whose dad would hide somewhere different in the yard every year with a real chainsaw. He wouldn't turn it on, but he would leap out at you with an actual chainsaw. And he'd be in a different place every year, and he'd construct new like obstacles so you never quite knew where he was. Yeah. That's fun. This whole trend of like actual murder scene on the front, like on the walkway up, seems less fun. And I say this as someone who loves metal. Holy shit, man. All right. So I promised you guys, you had a fake guy tangled up in the lights hanging from the roof of the house. Did anybody call to see? Did anybody call and be like, oh my God, fire department, please go help this ridiculous man. He's been stuck on his roof for 3 days. He's probably pissed himself. Go get him. Let's play, Christ, there's so many things I want to play, and I kind of want to play a bunch of heavier stuff. I'm trying to decide where we're going to go with this. I am going to play a really quick track that's going to lead us into some more sexy metal, because I promise sexy Halloween. Because ghosts are sexy, right? Sexy ass ghosts. You can't see them, but they're stacked. But so Touch of Evil, legitimately about succubus ladies touching you in the night. So I'm going to play something by Death Angel, because it's been a while since I've played some Death Angel for you. They have been on tour, just saw them recently. They're fucking amazing. This is like classic thrash. They have been around a long ass time, fans. So we're going to play that, and I'm going to play a track for you, indeed, called Succubus, off an album called The Dream Calls for Blood. Late. Heilig! Hey, man. Haven't seen you in ages because I suck and I haven't been here. And now I'm seeing you, just like everybody else here. Look at all your beautiful little faces floating around down here. Fuck yeah. Happy Halloween. I'm going to play you guys some Death Angel because we need a little bit of thrash in our lives. And then we're going to go from Succubus. We're going to take it down into some more sexy ass metal. I got some Rob Zombie. I got some Typo Negative. I've got some inappropriately sexual tracks for you that still fit the Halloween mold as we move into the second half of the show, because we're officially halfway through. I'm going to continue to put zip ties on my hat. We will continue to talk a little bit more. Yes, some vacation, some tech conferences. We had a hard fork. Things have been wild, absolutely wild. But I was gallivanting around Iceland and some other places. It's been a good time, fam, I will tell you. So let's do this 𝖍𝖊𝖆𝖛𝖞, and then we will play. Oh, I have so much good stuff tonight. You guys will have to help me choose as we get deeper into the playlist. But for now, Succubus on Fullforce Radio. know it's going to happen when I'm not ready for it, and I'm going to just booger all over everything. And that's going to be your Halloween spook. Hey, guys. Death Angel. Any excuse to get some classic thrash in your ears. Mwah! So just asking in chat, I mean, we've talked about a little bit of everything today, but we started off the show asking about like janky ass Halloween costumes. I told you some of mine. We've been talking about decorations and bone thrones and cable ties. I will say, I thought I was so clever for this, and then I've seen other stuff that people are doing with fucking zip ties. Crazy. But so just before the break, I was talking about like terrifying like home decor that takes it way too far. And I've got some that I will share with you. But so Bat Crim, look at her. She's like a terrifying eldritch demon, looking all spooky. I will say redheads get a bad rap. In general, people are always like, they're already demonic. They're totally possessed. Redheads. You get used to it, but absolutely. But so in the chat, actually, Donna Garden's also saying you had a sheet which you recycled into a ghost hanging from a tree. I love that. You still have it to this day. I love that kind of thing. How does Murphy Dog react when you dress up in a Halloween costume? He does not care. And has Lulu seen me in a costume yet? Yes, she also does not care. It turns out that my dogs, as dumb as they are, bless their fucking cotton socks. I love them. They're not that dumb. But I guess they can smell me, so they know that I'm like a real person. I have not been able to fool them. Have not been able to spook them. Your 3-year-old is now 27. Oh, your sheet is probably like a fucking Charlie Brown sheet. It's all holes now. I'm going to give you a potato when I come to your house. No, that's not how trick-or-treating works. I'm going to come to your house and present you a potato and then leave. Trick-or-treat. Shit. Help! I've forgotten how to treat. To trick or treat. Help. Smell toast. Having a stroke. All right. But so I love stuff like that. I truly do. I truly do. Heirloom decorations of all sorts. Ridiculous heirloom decorations. Good fun is had by all. But so woman gets cops called on gory Halloween decor. I mean, that's a hell of a that's a lot. That's a lot of words, but it actually did get me a couple different results. So there's a couple from Texas. There's one from Montreal. I'm trying to find the one in Montreal is somebody hanging from a tree. And this is actually pretty bad because there is, unfortunately, there is actually mafia in Montreal. And some hangings have happened. But so here's one that I'm sharing in chat. Nice one, Nahu. He's got some spooky mask ones. This definitely looks like a real dead person hanging from a tree. I'm not gonna lie. This is Halloween decor, but also like heckin' yikes, right? And this is a Halloween trope, Halloween horror movies where, you know, somebody gets killed in a gory, terrible way, and then everybody thinks, haha, it's just a Halloween decoration, and there's been a corpse around them like the whole time. It's a terrible trope that's happened in a bunch of movies, but also kind of possible, right? Like, yikes. So I've shared that one in the chat. But there was one that I'm going to try and find for you guys because I saw it and I thought, whoa, this is actually really, really bad. And that is not, it's not something that I would normally admit, but I've seen a couple now that I was actually pretty shocked. I'm not going to lie. But so the new one is in Dallas. And I think I'll show you. I'm going to try to not make it too bad. But it basically, it's back this year. They've been warned before. And I won't put it up on the screen just on the off chance that, you know, I don't want anybody to get banned or whatever. But so this is the guy in Dallas, his front yard. He's got a dead guy who has also dropped a safe on another guy on the front steps. And there is blood and gore. He's gone in as much to actually put like some smooshed up brains and some skull fragments. Like, rough. It's rough. I honestly think that this might be a little much, especially if you're trying to get kids trick-or-treating to your house. This looks pretty hardcore. So if you want to look at some of this ridiculous shit that's out there, just Google for like houses that have had the cops called on their decoration, because some of this is really intense. It's actually gory. It might almost be too much. I have to say the bodies hanging in trees is pretty rough. Yeah. See, they've scared some neighbors. Yeah, this has no way to be real, but that one. So here's another one, the upside down like body corpses hanging in trees. Like, as a cop or a law enforcement officer or a good neighbor, this would be very disconcerting, because some small part of you would be like, but is it a person? But is it real? I've watched enough horror movies that you're like, haha, that must be fake. And then you find out. And then you find out. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so Julia, we were talking about that a little bit earlier. So your mom's boyfriend used to dress as a scarecrow, sit really, really still, and then jump out at the kids when they come to the door. Hey, Frankie! I know you're not actually listening, but I love that you're here anyways, just to throw a bone. Throw a literal bone. Also, The Mandalorian, absolutely terrible, but delightful as well. Thank you for that, Ron. But yeah, that was a classic. That's how it used to be, is you would just have a bunch of really cheesy looking decor, and somewhere in that cheesy shit, you would have a real person disguised, and you would jump scare a child. And they would then be terrified of that clown, scarecrow, dentist, Jason, Freddy, whoever. They'd be scared of that for life. Like, you literally cause some children to go to therapy as an adult. And that's what Halloween's all about, god damn it. All right. So listen, you guys know I have a couple of favorite tracks. I play a couple of bands very often, and that's what I like. You wore a real pumpkin on your head. Yes, I've thought about that, but A, that would be so hard on your neck. B, would it not be kind of slimy? And C, as the pumpkin warmed up and you were in the pumpkin and the warm air and you were breathing, like, what is that like? Just slowly suffocating in pumpkin flavored snot over the course of like hours. Yuck. Chat is literally full of people terrifying other people, and it is delightful. So much fun. A++, thank you for these gifts. I have to say, the ones where little kids get scared and fall over are my 1000% favorite. I'm not saying I would like you or your children or the children around me to constantly be terrified, but I don't care. Kids fall down, hilarious. Kids like get knocked off something, totally hilarious. Kids getting scared and panicking and falling over and crying, funniest thing ever. Sports ball hits a kid, knocks them over. Mwah! I'm a terrible person. I admit this, and I'm fine with it. Scare all the children. So listen, we do have to cram some music in, and I did promise Clay that I'd play some sexy song, and I have a couple actually. So we go from Succubus. Oh, Lord, let's not. No, man. No. Yikes. That's brutal. Yes, more dogs dressed as spiders chasing people down the street. That one is hilarious. Someone left this dog out in the middle of the night wearing a large tarantula costume, and then just let this really friendly dog approach people on the streets. And the hidden camera video is priceless. People are just shitting their pants. Absolute terror upon terror. That is delightful. It's literally like a corgi wiener dog fucking cross dressed as a spider. Just that's what you should do. Yes, that's pretty accurate right there. So listen, we're going to get to the music at some point, but you guys keep dropping hilarious gifts in the chat, and I like it very much. So let's do it. We're going to go a couple in a row, and I'm definitely going to play one of my favorite Rob Zombie tracks for you. Now, You guys obviously probably have some favorite Rob Zombie tracks of your own. There are many. He is a master of horror and sort of the 1950s pin-up sexy zombie girl kind of aesthetic. That's sort of his jam. 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆 Deluxe is a classic album. Everybody's probably expecting Living Dead Girl or Dragula. It's not. I'm going to play something. You guys might remember earlier, I was going to say earlier this year, but it's 2022. Fuck. It's the end of 2022. Fuck. Last year, I shared you guys a new album from Rob Zombie, and it was called The Lunar Injection 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖘 Conspiracy. And the whole album is an ever-living acid trip. It makes no sense. It's fucked up. It's scary. It's weird. And I read, some of the song names for you, such as The Triumph of King Freak, The Ballad of the Sleazy Rider, The Shadow of the Cemetery Man, Shake Your Ass and Smoke Your Grass. Some of these delightful songs. But there is a song on this album. Crow Killer Blues is really good, but there is a song on this album that is amazing. And it is... it is a song about a witch, and it's not just any witch. It is a song about a witch who is a stripper, and the whole song is about watching this very sexual witch stripping on her broomstick. And if that's not Halloween, it's either terrifying children, dressing your dog in stupid costumes, or sexy, sexy witches. Halloween in a nutshell, and that's what we're doing here on Full Force Radio. it's very like House of 1,000 Corpses, you know, Dawn of the Dead, what's her fucking Salma Hayek, snake boobies dancing on a table kind of thing. And I, for one, am here for it. So, hey, welcome. We're having a very sexy Halloween. Yeah, it's good, right? And that whole album is actually excellent. Like, I mean, Rob Zombie is well beloved. Oh, Gecko's dropping some cool, creepy, terrifying gore. You've got a Halloween show with Julia coming up, right? Mocha show? You could drop that in chat if you want to pimp that out. You've got a live art show coming up. But yeah, I have to say, like, I love Rob Zombie for everything that he does. But this album, it's weird. It's very, like, Southern Gothic, psychedelic. Like, it's absolutely very much if you had a terrible acid trip in the fucking Hills Have Eyes house. And honestly, it's like, am I aroused? Am I terrified? Scaroused, maybe? And I'm here for it. So we are continuing. I'm going to play you guys some more music faux show. I always like to play Typo Negative when I can get around to it. I've got a bunch more tracks that are kind of in that slow, sexy kind of rhythm. But I also want to play you guys some heavy metal too. I want to play some power metal. I want to play some death metal. And I'm trying to decide where to go next because, of course, only got about an hour left in the show. So one of the tracks that I have tonight, while I'm trying to decide, is just one that I fucking love. And fuck you, I play what I want. You guys know I have a mad love for a band called Green Lung. And one of my favorite sort of tracks that has come out of the last couple albums, there's been 2 or 3 that they've released now, full-length albums. And the first one we've talked about at length on this show. Green Lung put out an album called Woodland Rights. And Woodland Rights was amazing because it was basically this alternate fantasy medieval history where what would happen if the Templars were actually zombies and came back to life, and all of these sort of knights and medieval fantasy stories kind of collided with witches in the woods, and the Knights Templar being zombie knights of Satan. Fucking weird, cool concept album. And it was basically like, listen up, ladies, don't be a nun, let the devil in, smoke a bunch of weed, and, let's see what happens. But their most recent album is Black Harvest, and that came out last year, and probably one of my absolute favorite albums. Stoner rock, stoner metal, very high up the list for me. Yeah, Julia, I'm not going to lie. That's me in Halloween form. Like I said, my urge to buy candles. I've got the little heart downstairs. I got skulls that bleed out their eyes. I've got anything I can get on a discount is even better. But all of the skulls, all of the gore, all of the terrible Halloween decorations, give them to me. Grabby hands. But so, I really love the track Graveyard Song. It is a perfect fit for everything else that's going on here off an album called Black Harvest. And that's exactly what we're going to do. And it's kind of a slow song, a vampire through the ages love song, and one of my favorite car... It's awful. It's awful, Clay. So we'll do this. And when we come back, I want to hear you guys' ghost stories. I want to hear whether or not you believe in ghosts and whether or not you have a ghost story. I want them. Give them to me. I'm greedy. But we're going to play Graveyard Sun, and then we'll see where the night takes us after that. Yeah? Yeah. Oh, I love this track so much.
And as the summer dies, the shadows start to move. See them dancing scream among the ivy trees. And now the boughs turn verdant green to gold. Wildflowers fade, this year is growing old. Do you recall that was the year of dust in the season of mists on your pale neck, your fate sealed with a kiss, cold rims round your eye, like cinerary eye. In my cold embrace, you fell into a trance. I led you through Egyptian Avenue, through iron gates, into the catacombs. Autumn girl lay down beneath the tree. Auburn hair, the color of the leaves. A little death never hurt anyone. So won't you come out of the graveyard sun? Out of the graveyard sun. Out of the graveyard sun. Out of the graveyard sun. Out of the Remember Hallows Eve, 1968. All those years have passed, the colors never fade, and so we're lost in time. Our dawn will never come, we'll live forever young, out of the graveyard sun. 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 Out of the graveyard.
I love that song so much. Is it truly, truly heavy metal? No. Do I care? Absolutely not. Stoner rock, one of my faves. So there you go. Green Lung off an album called Black Harvest. Definitely a big fan, especially because I have a 4-sided long sleeve shirt that's Graveyard Sun, and it just basically has like a nice witch lady on the front of it. She's standing there in a cape with nothing on underneath. So you get a little bush, you get some titties, all of the best things in life on one shirt. So there you go. Grimm's memoirs better be titled Spandex Burrito. Yes, at in some universe where I recently got to spend time in person in Meat Sack World with Clay and Ron. We had a delightful time, or at least I did. Hopefully you guys did too. It was so wonderful. It's been too long since I've seen Clay, and it's the first time I've got to ever hang out with Ron, and we had a lot of fun. And there definitely was a day where I got very, very high, and I drank a lot all day, and I ate almost no food. And I turned into a spandex burrito, which was I don't even know. My entire outfit was spandex, like a bra and some shorts. And then I rolled myself up in a quilt and I couldn't get out. And I basically put myself to sleep because I couldn't get out of the quilt. So I just fell asleep as a burrito. Not Halloween related, but good times nonetheless. If your friends haven't seen you be a spandex burrito, do your friends really know you? The questions that everybody needs to ask themselves. Have you lived if you've never been a spandex burrito? So before the break, I was saying ghost stories are fun. And a lot of the songs on this playlist, whether we listen to them or not, are ghost related. And I am a big believer. Truly a big believer. Spirits, supernatural, all that nonsense. Energy in the universe. There is some. We have it. It's out there. It's us. We are it. It is us. It is we. Listen, the universe is too big for you to believe that there isn't something else out there. But everybody has different opinions on this. So I'm curious to know. Donna Gardner was saying earlier that he's plenty haunted, but never seen a ghost. And maybe you don't see a ghost. But supernatural activity in general, I'm curious to know if it's something you either A, believe in, B, full of Halloween attack mode. Yeah, absolutely. Where did you see that? You found a photo of me. That's from Amsterdam, I think. Yeah. A sneaky photo for me across the room. Where did you even find that? I haven't even seen that photo. But yeah, so I definitely believe in it, and I have some stories, and I think I've shared some with you guys. Not even really spooky ones. Eileen drops a bomb in the middle of that song in chat. If you were watching here as it went by, she was saying that she thinks a goblin was shitting in her room, and it turns out it's because you came and there was just a terrible putrid smell of death and poo and terrible things in your room, and you couldn't figure out why, and it disappeared as quickly as it appeared, but it was strong and you could not figure out where it came from. I like the idea that you went to a goblin mystery supernatural and not something died in my walls or somebody came into my room and farted and then left. I like the supernatural thing. But for me, I fully believe I have had interactions with what I believe are spirits, and I would not fuck with them. So I'm curious to know if you guys do have any kind of stories that you want to. Another person that lived in the same apartment confirmed. Maybe, or maybe they were the night pooper. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. The night pooper. Oh gosh, there's a conspiracy with Eileen and random piles of shit appearing on the floor before she disappears. Okay, so you literally are haunted by a shit goblin. I'm not gonna lie, that wouldn't be the supernatural story that I personally would lead with in situations. Personally. Hey, sup? I'm haunted by a shit goblin. Don't mind that pile of poo over there. Nice to meet you. Wouldn't be where I started. Maybe like ease into that one a little bit. But you were in Amsterdam and incognito. Got it. But so, I mean, I've shared my ghost stories with you guys, I think, but I have had very mundane ghosts. I've never met a mean ghost. I would not want to meet a mean ghost. But I think I've told you guys the story. Have I told you guys the story about meeting the ghost in the farmhouse? Let me know if I haven't, because I do believe in them, and I certainly would not want to meet a malevolent spirit. But not a lot of people in chat are piping up, so now it's kind of like, is it just me and Eileen who are a little bit witchy and spooky, and Nahu who's just like straight up out there rocking with the dead? I don't know, but I'm curious. I'm curious if you believe in it then, or if you know anybody who has stories, or if you think they're absolutely full of shit. Clay, I see it immediately. I am also ruined by the internet. Boy, oh boy. So I'm curious. You drop it in chat if you are also a spooky type. Growing up, I have to say, my mom is religious, my dad is not. And so when I was a kid, I was never allowed to have a Ouija board, anything like that. That was very much no bueno. I was not allowed to have anything like that in the house. We don't invite spirits into the house. We don't invite bad juju. None of that nonsense. So of course, like growing up, I always thought that like magic and witches and whatever was, do you remember The Craft? That movie was a teenage girl's sort of like guide to bullshit witchcraft. I think every girl between the ages of like 8 to 20 something for a long time had their friends that fucking sleep over trying to do the light as a feather, stiff as a board nonsense, or, you know, that kind of stupid thing. Hey, sup, Joe? But I want to know if you have a ghost story, drop it in chat because I genuinely. Spider Mike, your name is very Halloweeny. Tell me about your ghosts, Spider Mike. But yeah, I'm generally. You'd think I get used to that by now. Cheers, all you new followers and subscribers. Happy to have you. Welcome to Full Force Radio. It is a metal show tonight. I'm rocking a half-ass zip tie, spooky sort of Maria Brink inspired headgear. And we're having a time. We're having a time. But yeah, The Craft was a great movie, by the way. She's crazy. She reminds me of, what's her name? 𝖊𝖕𝖎𝖆𝖏 𝕊𝖕? She looks like an absolute crazy girl, for sure. And that kind of just made her hotter because, you know, the hot to crazy scale, you know, she was up there with hot because, you know, her crazy was just, you had to draw the line off the chart. I don't know if she's like that in real life, but she plays it very convincingly and I'll never see her as anything else. So while you guys are deciding whether or not you want to actually share your ghost stories with me, or if you even have any, we will move on and we will play some more tracks. So I do want to play at least something that is like really quite heavy. And this is one of those things where half the people coming to the show are waiting for like death metal blast beats, full on like unclean singing, growling, intense. And half of you are like, please never do that again. I hate you. Otto! Hi! I haven't seen you in forever. And just like I said to Heilig, it's because I suck and I haven't been here and I'm so stoked you're around. I hope you are doing fabulous. Happy Halloween. So, the football season. Now is it football for you or is it hand egg? You're going to sleep before the ghost stories. Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea, Marco. Marco's another person I finally got to meet in person. Holy shit, I didn't even give you a shout out. There's such a super cute photo of us. We look adorable. I loved spending time with you. Gosh, that's just, I gotta get around. I gotta see the rest of you. It's been a delightful year. It'll happen. But yeah, so while you guys are... While you guys are deciding that, I do want to play at least one heavy track, and I am gonna do it now. Bye, Gecko. Bye. And then we'll come back. I definitely want to play some Ozzy. I want to finish up with some Iron Maiden, and we'll see what else we can kind of cram in the last hour of the show. And then I'm losing the Europeans. It's getting late. I know I promised to go back to 3 hours, but I feel like maybe this was, maybe this is not the thing to do. Maybe especially if I don't move my show, that we keep it 2 hours and I make sure that I keep you guys wanting more. I don't know. I can never win. No matter what I do, it's wrong, and I recognize that I am trash. We've been over this. I belong in a garbage bag. I've been in a garbage bag since a very young age. I was born at a very young age, much like 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖏, and I belong in a trash can. But in the interim, I do want to play you a track by 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆, and this album that I'm going to play this off. It's an album called 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆 𝕍. And I shared this with you earlier this year. It's from 2022. It is a spectacular album. Incredibly good. I really, really like this. And I've played a couple different tracks off this album for you. Silvered Shadows, Seller of Ghosts. I do want to play another 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆 track for you. So we will get some blast beats into our bodies. We will prepare yourself. No, I'm not ending before my scheduled end. We're going to go for another hour, but it'll just be you, me, and the ghosts here by the end of the night. I just feel like maybe this 3-hour experiment, all of the people who begged and pleaded for me to go for 3 hours no longer come to the show. I drove them away by being terrible and also by not doing shows. And now it's just me and you and all of you and all of you and all of you. Just a couple of us. So, oh good, I have to shit. All right, somebody time how long Ron is gone. But I'm going to play this track, and it is a track called the Compost Grave Song. And that feels pretty Halloween-y to me. Look at, oh, there goes Angry Ghost again. That feels pretty Halloween-y to me. So if you guys are cool and you want to hang in here just for something a little bit heavier, I promise we'll come back. Like I said, I want to play absolutely some Ozzy, some Iron Maiden, maybe some Type O Negative, the Misfits, I don't know, King Diamond. We'll get a feel for how much we can cram in and how little time that we can do it. But in the interim, the Compost Grave Song by Kardashev. My name is Crimson Clad, and this is a very mega spooky Halloween I don't know what edition. Real spooky. You've never been more scared by cable ties. Sorry. Whew. Let's do it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to throw Rod under the bus. There was only once that he pooped in front of me in our hotel room. Clay, did he only poop the once? It was a long poop, though, I think. I think he's actually kind of set the tone for that. Now, you guys, now you all know. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Hear the band of the
right. So yeah, 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆. For some of you, probably a little bit harder than your preferred metal, but damn, that album is good. Damn! And we needed some blast beats tonight. We needed some blast beat representation. I'm all about equal opportunity metal. So I will say, I've been out looking for more zombie photos for you guys, and I'm kind of pulling them up as I go now. What I managed to find instead was not zombie photos. I managed to only find the image of myself as a pirate with the fucking cup taped to my hand. I will continue to look. I will continue to look, but I did indeed find this particular bad boy. Do I have it here? Nope, not the right one. Where is it? Nope. Sorry. I'll see what I could find here. But it doesn't much matter. I'll keep looking. I have some gory photos and what cock tits. So I'm not sure. I haven't 100%. Yes, Andre, you're right. I had a thing up. There's a meme going around where somebody is sharing a photo of Lady Gaga and saying that is that is what the Virgin Mary looked like, and people are falling for it. And so somebody else followed up with, well, this is what Jesus looked like, based on recreating studies. Are those shitting nipples? I hope they're not dick shitting nipples. Here, let's just see. Can we find? There you go. There's me as a very convincing pirate, and by very convincing pirate, I mean at a pirate party with a cup medical taped to the end of my hook, because I am a classy lady, friends. Never forget. Never forget how classy I am. But I will continue looking for more zombie photos, because I actually do have some cool photos of me as a zombie with some neat spooky makeup. I just have to find them. So listen, we were talking about ghost stories a little bit before the break, and nobody poops in a urinal. Is that a thing that people do? Oh, I don't like it. I just kind of assumed that the pillows on the wall were for drunk people who kind of unked into the wall, but I don't have a penis. We've talked about this at length. I don't. I'm sorry to inform you, or I mean, maybe you're not sad. Maybe you're sorry. Maybe you're not sorry. I am not a penis haver. And so I often have to kind of just guess at penis related stuff. What can I say? But so I was going to tell you guys a little bit about ghost stories, and I only have a couple, and it is because for a while, I mean, many of you guys know I'm big into volunteer work. I think service-based learning, service-based everything is really valuable. I think volunteer work is awesome. I also think you should get upper deck. Is that when you poop in the back tank of a toilet? P.S. If you do that, you're a bad person. Don't poop there. Poop doesn't go there. Somebody has to clean that up. Don't be that guy. Also, you're going to regret it in the apocalypse when you need that source of fresh water. Don't poop there. You're ruining someone's apocalypse. Okay, but so listen. I believe pretty strongly in volunteer work in general. I also think you should work and get paid for what you're worth. Never cut your options off. Never sell yourself short. God damn it. I swear to God, I keep seeing things in my hair and it's driving me nuts. But in any case, so my ghost stories are, I do a lot of volunteering around my local community. And when I was younger, I obviously enjoyed volunteering at a place that is called the 𝖊𝖕𝖎𝖘 Museum. And it is this sort of 1920s throwback town. And it's this little sort of anachronistic town built in the middle of Burnaby. And you go visit, and everybody there is dressed up in period costume. The houses are decorated from period time. The technology's there. You can kind of go walk around, test stuff out, see what food and life and outfits are like. And so for quite a while there, I would... Oh, no. So for quite a long time, I would volunteer at this place because I thought it was cool. You got to wear a cool costume. You used to you know, you used to not be able to carry your phone. All this was a little bit before you had cell phones. You had to keep it in your locker. You would wear your hat and your dress and your corset and everything. And it was great. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. And so everything on site was created by go get some ice cream and some drugs. Don't step in any poop. Watch out for goblins. Don't let the spirits get you, etc. But everything on site was recreated to be from the 1920s. And, you know, you basically had new structures that were designed and filled with artifacts from the 1920s. But there was that you chat killer. Listen, Eileen talked about poop goblins. So, you know, let's say you're both equally culpable. I'm never going to finish this story. There is one building on site that was actually from the time period, and it was a farmhouse that was taken apart and brought from another area in the city, and it was recreated as the centerpiece of this village. And the farmhouse belonged to a family, many generations, whatever. And so often, I would work in this farmhouse, and at Christmas especially, it would get dark very early, and you would be there. The village was open later because people would come to see the Christmas lights, and so you would often end up kind of sitting by yourself in this old farmhouse. And the way that they had it set up was because you wanted to make sure that you could walk somebody through the display and talk to them about all the unique features, that there was one entrance on one side and one exit on the other, and everything was sort of in a linear fashion along this farmhouse. Nobody could go anywhere. Nobody could sneak in. The door that was an exit, you couldn't come in it. You couldn't get, you know what I mean? There was only one route through the house, and you as an attendant would sit at the front door. And when someone came in, you would walk through the house with them, and you would point out all the stuff. You would teach them about what it was like to live in a farmhouse in the 1920s. But I was there for Christmas, and I had been volunteering there for 3 or 4 years at the time. And often I would be there late at night, and everybody would talk about seeing the ghost of the Love farmhouse. I never saw her, but I will say that I had more than one encounter with her. And all of the classic stuff, the weird drafts, the strange, inexplicable noises, creaking, the things that you just find really difficult to separate out from your brain, your anxiety, your overthinking, your body sort of stimulating you into hearing and feeling and seeing things. But I will say, keeping the house the way that she wanted it, that is where I had run-ins with her. And I will say, for the first little bit, I tried to kind of explain it away to myself. But a lot of the time, it would be doilies. It's a lot in farmhouses. We would put them out, we would dress the tables, we would put them places. I would constantly find them on the floor. She did not like where we had them. They were not hers. She did not like them. I would constantly find them either knocked off tables. Sometimes I would remember putting them in the center of the table with something on top of them. I would leave the room. I would come back. The doilies on the floor, the vase or whatever, still in the middle of the table. Didn't have an explanation for it, but could kind of write it off. And that happened all the time. So there would constantly be, you would feel a prickle, a presence on your neck, you would go into another room, and something would have changed. And at first, I always thought that was just the way it was when you're alone at night. But I can tell you exactly when my attitude changed and I realized, nope, this woman is here and she likes things her way, and I am no longer going to be here and fucking with her. And what it was we had a radio in one of the rooms in the farmhouse because, of course, in the 1920s, what would you do late at night? You would sit with a oil lamp with a flame and you would listen to a radio, because you were trying to not use too much electricity. Very expensive. And so the way that it worked is we had the housing of an old 1920s, era radio. But if you lifted it up inside, it was just a click on, click off, little tape recorder that was playing back some tinny kind of scary, wasn't meant to be scary, but it was tinny 1920s style of music. And if you've ever played something like BioShock or whatever, or the old Fallouts, or when they're playing sort of the radio in the wasteland and I don't want to set the world on fire, and just kind of that old vaudevillian sort of tinny crackly kind of music, If you are sitting in a dark farmhouse lit only by dim electrical lighting and some flames, and you don't have anything but some knitting or a book, no one's there, it's dark outside the windows, everything is old and creaky, and you know that you've experienced stuff. This used to be in another room, and we would turn it on when we got there because it helped you not feel so alone and not so scared. And I was sitting in the front room after turning it on, lifting the box, turning it on, putting the box down. I was sitting in the front room, nobody was coming, and I was bored out of my mind. And I was kind of nodding off a little bit, and the radio stopped playing. The tape didn't run out. It was in the middle of a song, and I have never heard anything in my life. I'm telling a ghost story, you fucker. Also, hi, Kingski, but fuck. Never in my life have I heard something as loud as the silence of that radio turning off. You are sitting in a room and you are looking down a corridor of this farmhouse, and you can see all the way to the end. You can see to where the exit door is locked. You know there is no one else in this farmhouse. You can see, whatever you saw out of the corner of your eyes, it's not real. Outside is dark. There's no one here. It is just you. And one room over from you, somebody just touched something. So I got up and I took the radio casing off, and the radio was switched all the way to off. You could not do that. The tape, like I said, it's not one of those things where the tape runs out and the button pops up. No, the on switch was turned to off, and the radio box was still over top. I put it back down. I put my hands up. I walked out of the farmhouse. I handed in my outfit, and I never fucking came back, because there's no way to explain that. And all of the things that I felt and I heard and I, out of the corner of my eyes and the doilies and everything that I could write off, that day, there is no way. There is no way. There is no way. It is impossible. There is absolutely nobody could have snuck in. Nobody touched it. I was right in the room next to it. It would have been impossible for somebody to come by me. Nobody could have come through the entire farmhouse. Absolutely no one could have touched that. And I realized, nope, this lady is fucking tired of me being here. And I am not going to stay in this house when she doesn't want me here. So no scary throwing shit at me, no knocking things off, no rattling chains. But I will tell you, I've never been so absolutely terrified in my entire life, because I feel like I have had the absolute perfect proof for me that there was something or someone in that house with me that I could not see, that I could not hear, that I could maybe feel, but who could actually manipulate physical space and items around me. Nope, 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 nope. And I never went back. And I believe in ghosts. Now I do. So, I don't know if that's convincing enough for you. I don't know if you have any other good ghost stories. High Lake threw one into chat saying, in your apartment, every one of your cats, anytime one of your cats was running around for no good reason, you think that they're chasing a friend's ball that the doctors had to remove when he was living here before me. So I live with the spirit of that one ball haunting us. Well, everybody talks about cats being very attuned to the supernatural, right? Like, that's a thing that is a very sort of traditional idea, is that if a cat is staring at a space in a room, or they can often see or hear things that we can't. And sometimes you will see them just being fucking spooky ooky, because they're freaked out about something and you don't know what it is. And you're thinking, should I also be freaked out? I should probably also be freaked out. Clay says, if ghosts are real, when I die, I'm haunting all of your asses. Fair enough. Are you literally going to be like in my ass? Are you going to be a shit goblin? Aim higher, Clay. And Viking Venture says, you and your mom have had the same ghost in New Westminster Mall. Okay. Your mom saw it, actually saw her, and you felt her. Oof. Cold, ghastly hands on your neck. Absolutely not. No, thank you. That's a pass. That's a no from me, dog. So, cats are shady as fuck. All right. Nobody actually wants, you will be the ghost of your ass that makes you involuntarily twerk at inappropriate times. You're welcome. Worst Beetlejuice remake ever. This is a porn. Lydia's ass is haunted. Ding, 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 ding. But it's twerking? Oh, it's bad. Clay? Nope. Nope. No. So, my not so scary ghost story followed up by the worst imagery that you will ever have in your life. I'm sorry. There, I ruined it. Fullforce radio. Let's play some heavy metal. Oh, Lord Almighty. The fact that none of you that think my ghost story is scary is fair. It's not. But to me, it's terrifying, and I will never fucking go back. I have not gone back to 𝖊𝖕𝖎𝖘𝔔 Village Museum since that day. What if she remembers that I was fucking with her stuff? What if she remembers? Nope. Nope. All right, what should we do? 𝖍𝖊𝖆𝖆, Candlemas, Edge of Sanity, Witchery. I don't want to play Witchery because it was just a filler. It's called Witch Creek. It's actually about... Corbin's here! Hi! Yeah! I'm rocking the last-minute Halloween costume, complete with zip ties that I'm adding to myself as I go, and lipstick that I used on my entire face. A++, go team! You have missed some good stuff tonight, but I'm glad to see you. I hope you're not buried in snow. I saw Berta got snow earlier. Fuck. So, we are going to play actually some power metal. We are going to play some Camelot from way, way, way back when. Actually, almost that period in my life. A track called The Haunting, back when Roy Khan was the lead singer of Camelot and Simone Simons, the girl singer of Epica. Hi, Lax! Hello! Goodness gracious me, you're either up really late or up really early. I can never remember. You're like 4 hours ahead, so it's like midnight there. But yes, I'm going to spook this up. For those of you who weren't here, the gentle recap is that I'm going to snip these to be all sorts of different lengths. Hey, Peg! It's so good to see you. I'm going to snip these all sorts of little lengths. I've got some gross, creepy, like dirty finger bones that I'm going to make a second layer to the crown with, and some like old dead dried flowers, and maybe like and yeah, we'll kind of go there. That's a cake. Just a big old dick in chat. Thanks for that. Delightful. Go team. All right. Well, while you guys are doing that, let's play some Camelot. This is another sing-along song. I love this one. And this was back before Epica was even on the board. And she was literally unknown. The very first time that I saw them was like, I'm trying to remember what year it was. 2007, maybe I drove out to see them. Doesn't matter. The Haunting, because who doesn't like a spooky lady being spooky to you? That's the whole essence of Halloween. We've talked about a bunch of stuff. I don't remember any of it. Something shit goblins. Thanks, Eileen. Something Clay's gonna haunt our asses. Something worst Beetlejuice remake. Something bad house decor. That's all I remember from this entire night. That's terrible. You should all be very ashamed of yourselves.
Merely the sound of your voice made me believe that you were her. Just like the river disturbs my inner peace. Once I believed I could find just a trace of her beloved soul. Once I believed it was all that she smothered my beliefs. One cold winter's night, I may find time recur when memories linger on and on. What made me think you were her? Helena is dead to all, dead to all. Nothing can bring her to life. Don't pretend that I've been loving you. Once I believed it was gone, I'm corrupted from within. Leave me for now and forever. Leave what you can. Somewhere in time I will find you and haunt you again, like the winds with the air. Somewhere in time when no virtues are left to defend, you've fallen deep. I was a liar in every debate. I rule the forces that fueled your hate. When the cold in my heart leaves, it comes to an end. And quietly I'll go to sleep into the light. Or leave me tonight. I've gone too far to begin all anew with someone like you. Somewhere in time I will find you and love you again, like the winds with the air. Somewhere in time when no virtues are left to defend, you've fallen deep. I was a liar in every debate. I ruled the forces that fueled your hate. When the cold in my heart leaves, it comes to an end. Quietly I'll go to sleep.
That's a classic. Goodness gracious me. Yeah. Sleep. All right, so there you go. In the break, I added a couple more spikes to my headdress. I think I'm gonna have them come all the way down. I think I'm going for like full satanic halo here. But welcome. My name is Crimson Clad, and this is Full Force Radio, and I haven't seen so many of you for so long, and I'm so happy to see you. The late night crew is kicking in just as the Europeans are tapping out. We got a whole lot going on. This is the last minute, low effort, but also like high attitude Halloween show tonight. So I will say I was still looking during the break to see if I could find some more of the zombie photos. And I was going back and I did find the one year that I went again before it was like not cool to gender bend costumes. I did go as gender bent Two-Face one year. This was, again, before the new Batman movies. And this was fun because in this photo, you can't tell, but I really did look like a burn victim. And nobody wanted to dance with me at the club. Even though I was slutty Two-Face, nobody wanted to come near me. A++ would Two-Face again. Nailed it. So there you go. Slutty Two-Face, not my finest moment. I thought it was. Nobody else did. So I'm still looking for more Halloween costumes. So we've been talking about terrible front yard decor. We've been telling ghost stories. We've been playing music, having a time. Oh yeah, good trick-or-treat tactics. That's right. So I did, lots of stuff, all sorts of crazy stuff, and how like all my childhood costumes were basically just garbage bags. And we led off with my mom being Elvira, and that being very confusing for me as a child. So yeah, good times were had by all. I will say that show, the very first time that I saw Camelot live, was mind blasting for me. I don't remember what year it was, but I do have a Tinnitus Sanctus shirt from a similar time period, from the first time that I went to go see Edguy, when I was really just kind of getting into metal and making my descent. We've talked about it before. Sort of power metal kind of started things off for me, and I would drive to Seattle by myself to go see these bands. But yes, if I go back and I look at some of these old pictures taken on, disposable cameras that I was hiding in my underpants at the time, like, this was classic and this was formative, and I still look back at these as like great memories. So, ghost stories of Saskatchewan. You have a family ghost story? Don't hold out on us, man. Drop it in chat. That's killer. Oops, wrong one. So I was going to say, like, look here, this is ages ago, but that first time I went to a tour for that album, Black Halo. And this was the first time that I saw them live. And I took this picture, and it remains one of my favorite concert photos that I've ever taken. Back before cell phones were a thing, back before digital cameras were a thing, I took this photo of Roy Khan, which I cherish now because he is actually, he is no longer with Camelot, sadly. He took a mental health break, and then he ended up moving into another band. He's come back recently, but he hasn't been with Camelot for a long time, and that's really sad. So there you go. Let's jump back over here. So yes, share your ghost stories. Share your ghost stories. And we'll continue to play a little. We'll continue to a notable novel taught in all Canadian schools. So I can't tell if Corbin's being facetious or not, because that's literally a 50-50. Canada's a pretty small place, and Alberta and Saskatchewan probably did share some literature. But yeah, I'm not familiar with that. So it's been a fun night. I've played you guys quite a bit of music, everything from Judas Priest to Death Angel, Rob Zombie, Kardashev, Ghost, Orbit Culture, and I do have lots more music to play, but of course we are running out of time, which is bullshit, darlings. It's bullshit. But in the interim, I have lots of stuff that maybe I'll keep it on the playlist for you guys. I have 𝖍𝖊𝖆𝖆, Candlemass, Edge of Sanity, Witchery, Ozzy Osbourne, Iron Maiden, because we're going to end by upping the irons. Of course we fucking are. Insomnia, Misfits, Typo Negative, King Diamond, Blind Guardian, Witchfinder, and 3 Inches of Blood. So, I mean... Yeah, I remember the one for BC. I remember Ghost Stories for BC. But yeah, so... I'm trying to decide where we're going to go. And I definitely am, yeah, wow. So you actually went to her tomb. You probably helped her rest a little easier, finding out that somebody was fucking around with her resting place. That's scary and awesome. Good for you. But also spooky. Great, but spooky. Yes, and I have to say, 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆, next year I am definitely, I'm pretty sure next year is going to be the year that I go to Tuska. I'm almost positive, actually. So I do want to play Mr. Crowley. I mean, I just play it every Halloween just because I like the song. It has the most epic synth intro of all time. It's a classic. I will say, if you've never heard some of the Black Sabbath ghost stories, go looking, because there are some pretty funny ones. Geezer Butler talks about how he was gifted at the time where he was writing a lot of this music. He was still Christian, and he was gifted some very satanic books and some occult books, and they started giving him nightmares, and he actually saw a shadow person, and one of the books that he had locked away to keep it, he wanted to stay away from it. One of the books actually just disappeared from out of his locked cabinet. So he talks about that. Yeah, in 𝖍𝖊𝖆𝖆, I'm a big 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆 fan. I love them very, very much. That whole album is actually probably one of the best of all times. But neither here nor there. So I do want to play Mr. Crowley, but yeah, that's spooky. And actually, there was another one where they were recording in a castle. And the idea was they were all going to stay in a castle. They're going to record in a castle. It's going to be so cool. Oh, my God. And you too. Yes, pig, I know. 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖘𝖔𝖉𝖊. We talk about a lot. I always bring up because they have a track called 𝖊𝖕𝖎𝖙, which is also known as a pig with cocks in its eyes, which I always bring up for pig. Great track, by the way. But listen, so they were recording in a castle, and they were going to sleep there at night, and it was going to be so cool. We're going to like big old nerdy metal guys, sleepover while they were recording an album. And they were there one evening and looked down the corridor and they saw someone in a cloak and they were like, who the fuck's that? So they followed this person down the corner into an armory, and when they entered the room, there was no one there. There were no other entrances, no other exits, no one in a cloak, absolute mystery. So that they thought somebody was fucking with them. They went back to the, main room of the castle, told everybody about it while they were recording, and somebody was like, yeah, dude, that's so-and-so's ghost. They're here all the time. And everybody in Black Sabbath lost it, and they ended up driving like 2 hours away from the castle every single night because they refused to sleep there because they kept seeing this fucking ghost, and they were like, nope. So instead of this whole recording experience where they stayed in this castle to record the album, they ended up actually just recording the album and then driving home to a hotel every night because they were too scared to stay in the castle while they were recording the album. Fun fact for you. Fun Black Sabbath track. So, while we're at it, we're going to play Mr. Crowley. Why? Because I can. Is it the most Halloween Black Sabbath song? No, not really. I don't care. You want to play the songs you want to play, you get yourself a metal show. Or come back next week and I will play more music for you then. But we got a couple more tracks. We got a couple more minutes. We're going to try and fit at least Ozzy and we'll try and fit Ozzy and Iron Maiden minimum and see what else we can cram in here too. Mr. Crowley with a gun in your hand on Full Force Radio. Yes. I want that. I want that synth, the bwah, 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 as I swirl my cape dramatically all the time. Just for my own aura's sake. Fuck Halloween. All right, so Krim, do you ever go to any local Bitcoin or crypto meetups in your town? I used to quite a bit, actually, very early on. These days, I don't as much. And part of that is because this is a really big Ethereum town. And the Bitcoin and Ethereum people are pretty... but it's something that I do hope to get back to. I will just say that Hive keeps me pretty fucking busy. But yes, Saturday, I will be here for Cyberbuzz, a Halloween edition of Cyberbuzz. So I'll be back to wearing digital spooky masks. And we'll have some fun. We'll talk tech and we'll do that kind of thing instead. But yeah, so if you have questions or comments or whatever, we want to do blockchain stuff, then absolutely I'm going to get back to that. There's a lot of people who have been asking me to make like videos, explainers, posts. And of course, now that I'm not a witness anymore at this exact moment, everybody wants everything right now. So seems like a good time for it. I will say, polemically sent, one of my favorite word usages in a song. Well, you can ask a crypto now, a crypto question now. It's just pointing out that like you're not the only person who wants to, but it is something. I will say, I don't know if any of you guys do go to crypto meetups or whatever. If you get a chance, it's an interesting space for sure. You always meet really interesting people, and it's one of the best things that's come out of being here on this platform, doing these shows, like heavy metal or not. Most of you I know in some way, shape, or form through crypto, and my life is enriched because of you. Real talk. I know that sounds really like lame or whatever, but it is the truth. I appreciate you, and I have missed you guys, genuinely missed you guys. So if you're new and you're just hanging out with us for the first time for Full Force Radio, good on you. I hope you come back. I promise your ass most likely won't be haunted. But no guarantees. If your butt does get haunted, it wasn't me. Sorry. Yeah, pig, that's fantastic. Yeah, it is a bear market, but I have to say, if we don't have a really fat, ugly leg down in the next little bit, we will actually probably have realized that the real sort of bear actually ended in June. But I suspect things are going to go to hell. All right, so in that track, he actually asked, was it polemically sent? I want to know what you meant. And polemically is a word that does not get used enough. And that's actually a reference to the fact that Aleister Crowley used to sign things as polemically yours. And it refers to the fact that he was controversial and argumentative. And that's what that word is meant. And so I always like that. Are you into remote viewing astral projection stuff? Yeah, we were talking about occulty stuff earlier. I know there's a lot of spooky, crystal, astral, witchy type people in the chat. I have not had any luck with sort of being able to do that. I feel like I can perceive things, but I have not yet been able to zoot myself out of my body, unless you're counting drugs, in which case, hell yeah, fuck me up, fam. But I would like to try. But so far, demons haven't come in, but Crim hasn't gotten out. So I believe it's possible, but I have not unlocked that layer of my brain yet. 𝖊𝖕𝖆 Festival. I really wanted to, Vaquero, but I have run out of vacation time. I have used up almost 2 full months. So I have to miss that one, which is brutal because I would really like to go. But I will be going to Montreal for like one night only to see Carcass and Christ. Who's playing with Carcass? Help. Amon Amarth, Carcass, I've completely forgotten. Whatever, the Great Heathen Army Tour, I'm going for that. So I had one extra day. I had one vacation day left, and it's not even a paid vacation day. It's really just the only day that my work will let me take off. So I'm taking it. You started seeing shadow people when you started trying to astral project. Nope. Heckin' yes, cattle decapitation. Thank you. That's where I'm going. I am not going to lie. Lax's story is terrifying, and I am going to kind of keep an eye on the time here because we are coming right down to the end of it, and I do want to play a track for you guys. So I'll read Lax's story because it is a big spook, and this to me is kind of exactly the same as mine, except much more extreme, in that they're just things where you run out of ways to explain it because they are physical happenings that you've seen and experienced, and you can't write it off. So the one that was absolutely terrifying, little kid died tragically, ran back into the house. Messy kitchen, like a child tried to make toast with peanut butter when no one was home. Somebody comforting their baby. The baby floating in the rocking chair. Like, nope. I would be terrified. And so the thing that drove them out of the house is they took the baby out of the crib and immediately the door to the room slammed shut and one of the stuffies in the crib started smashing around angrily. Nope. That would be like, yep, bro, like they didn't move the bodies. Like, get out of the house. Nope, absolutely not. A++. Oof. Living impaired. We're not allowed to call them shadow people anymore. Good stuff. If we haven't been canceled because of ass hauntings and lynchings and all the other weird stuff that's been going on, right at the end, we just jam one more good chance to be canceled in. All right, so since I told you guys that I am madly in love with all of you and glad to have you back, and we're talking about ghosts, and we had to cut pretty much the entire playlist, I have one more track here at the end, and I wanted it to end on a good note. And of course, I wanted it to end by upping the irons because it has to. So we are going to play a track off Fear of the Dark. Surprisingly, not Fear of the Dark. Most of you guys probably haven't heard this one. It is a track called The Apparition. And it is about the fact that when you die, will you come back and try and contact your friends, the people you love? Will you come back and try to tell them about the mysteries of the afterlife? So, Clay might haunt your ass, but me, I'll haunt your heart.
Now I'm here, can you see me? 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆 𝕊𝖕 when the room goes cold, tell me you can feel me, 'cause I'm here. Here I am, can you see me? Passing through on my way to a place I've been to only in my dreams. too. If you try a little bit harder, a little bit of faith goes a long way. It does. Are we here for a reason? I'd like to know just what you think. It would be nice to know what happens when we die, wouldn't it? There are some who are wise. There are some who are born naive. I believe there are some that must have lived before, don't you? As for me, while I'm thinking, you gotta keep an open mind. But I hope that my life's not an open and shut case. As you say to perception, live out the death to live by faith. Can the soul live on and travel through space and time? You know I feel so elated, 'cause I'm about to find it out. And when I know all the answers, maybe then I'll come back to fill you in. You don't be alarmed now if I try to contact you. If things go missing, I'll get moved around. It's me, and don't disbelieve it. No matter what your friends might say, we'll meet up again someplace, some way, one day.
Ah, yes. Iron Maiden is a perfect way to cap off the show. So, to put it out there, guys, we missed a lot of tracks. 𝖍𝖊𝖆𝖆, Candlemass, Edge of Sanity, Witchery, Insomnia, Misfits, Typo Negative, King Diamond, Blind Guardian, Witchfinder, and 3 Inches of Blood. But that's okay. We had a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I have to say, man, do I ever love that track. There are some who are wise. There are some who are born naive. And I believe that there are some that must have lived before. Don't you? As for me, well, I'm thinking you got to keep an open mind. But I hope that my life's not an open and shut case. Extrasensory perception, life after death, telepathy. Can a soul live on and travel through space and time? You know, I feel so elated because I'm about to find it out. And when I know all the answers, maybe then I'll come back and I'll fill you in. You don't be alarmed now if I try to contact you. If things go missing or get moved around, it's me. And don't disbelieve it no matter what your friends might say. We'll meet up again someplace, some way, someday. Friends, the big spook edition. Fullforce Radio is done for another year. I will see you guys next week or on Saturday for Cyberbuzz. Otherwise, whenever I catch you next. Bye.